All right, good morning. We're here in Northeastern Tech, Cheraw, South Carolina. This is Vern Chavis, CDL instructor. This morning we're going to do the pre-trip inspection, the end cab. Now on this end cab, it's got to be done correctly. You have to do it step by step. The end cab is the only part of the test that you can automatically fail on doing this pre-trip inspection. You've got to do your leak down check correctly by the book or you'll fail. Now, if you do make a mistake on your leak down and you catch it, you can ask the examiner to let you start over on that. If you don't catch it, if she has to tell you or he has to tell you you didn't do it right, you automatically fail right there. But other than that, you just get a point deduction. But I want you to watch it, I want you to understand it, and let's do it right, and that way you won't have any problems. We're going to start up from getting in the seat to finishing up, and if you have any questions, give me a call. But we're going to go over this just like you would do it for the examiner doing your in-cab inspection. First thing you do is climb in, pull your seat belt, hook it up. Your seat belt is not cut, torn, or frayed. It's properly mounted secure. It locks and unlocks properly, and it's adjusted to me. Everybody's a different size and shape. Be sure to tell her that seat belt's adjusted to you. Now, we're going to shake the gear lever, make sure it's in neutral. We're going to crank it up. It's called a safe start. Depress the clutch and fire it up. Now, as your air comes up, tell about the rear view mirrors. The rear view mirrors, they're properly mounted secure. They're clean, they're clear, they're not cracked, they're not broken. And they're adjusted to me. Everybody's different size, different shapes, different heights. So make sure your rear view mirrors are adjusted to me. You got your windshield. It's clean, it's clear, it's not cracked, it's not broken. There are no illegal stickers to impede your vision. You don't have anything in front in your view to restrict your vision. And it's properly mounted secure. You got windshield wipers, they work. You got a windshield washer, it works. The windshield wipers, they're not bent, cracked, or damaged. The windshield wiper blade is made of rubber, it's not dry rotted, and it's not cracked, and it fits firmly against the windshield. Then we come inside the truck, we have our safety equipment. First thing we have is our fire extinguisher. It's properly mounted, secured, and properly charged. Then we have safety fuses, spare fuses in the glove box, and they are not properly mounted secure, they're just in the glove box. You have to have those. And also we have our safety triangles. They're properly mounted secure and they're under the bunk. Now we go to our dash. We have a voltmeter. The voltmeter works at 14 volts. We have an oil pressure gauge and a water temperature gauge. They operate at the factory specifications. We have a primary, secondary air gauge. They operate from 120 to 140 pounds per square inch PSI. We have a left turn signal indicator that works. We have a right turn signal indicator that works. We have a high beam indicator that works. Our four-way flasher indicators work. Now we have our heat. It works. We have our defroster, and it works. Now the first part of the brake check, we have to do a tug test. Put the truck in the lowest gear, release either one of your brakes, one at a time. You check your trailer and your tractor. It's called a tug test. You just pull to make sure your brakes on each part of the unit will hold it. Put it in the lowest gear. I'm going to release the tractor brake. We're going to check the trailer brake. All we're going to do is tug. That's all you have to do. Set the tractor brake back, release the trailer brake. Make sure, once again, ease out on the clutch and make sure the tractor brakes work. Now, what you're supposed to do is what you call a 5 mile per hour test. The examiner doesn't want to be jerked around, so she'll ask you just explain what you have to do with that. You release your brakes, put it in lowest gear, let the truck roll 5 miles per hour, at least 5 miles per hour. You jam on the brakes, release the wheel, and make sure the wheel doesn't turn in either direction. That's what you do with the 5 mile per hour test. Now that we've used up some of the brakes, what you do now between your brake, your leak down check, is rev it up, bring the air pressure back up, and check your air governor. It'll pop off at 120 to 100. There it went right there. 120 to 140 pounds operating. Once you get your air pressure built back up, then you put it back into the lowest gear. You release both your brakes. Switch it off. Let up off your clutch. If it's on a grade, you'll have to chock the tires so it doesn't roll, but that's the reason we put it in gear, so it won't roll on a level yard. You let the brakes leak down, you switch it back on, you have your ABS light come on, and your brake light comes on and goes off. Now, we got the air pressure. What you're going to do is the 4-pound test on the first step of the leak down portion. Now this is where you have to get it right. You have your 4-pound test, you have your air buzzer, your warning buzzer, and your warning light test, and you have your protection valve test, your emergency brake test. First of all, we do the leak down. Can't leak more than 4 pounds in 60 seconds. You apply the brake, you watch your brake, make sure it doesn't leak, hold it for 60 seconds, and it can't leak more than 4 pounds. You ask the examiner to time you. Would you time me, please? Okay, we'll hold it. And as you sit and wait, you just apply your pressure. All you have to do, and that's what you do. And we're not going to hold it the full 60 seconds, but you will during the test. So once you get through the 4-pound test, you release the brake. She'll count it off. Okay, we haven't had any leaks. Now we're going to do the warning buzzer and warning light test. You're going to fan the brakes down. You're going to pump the brakes. That way you use up your air pressure. And the light and the buzzer should come on before 55 pounds. Okay, our light came on and buzzer at about 70 pounds on each one, the primary and the secondary gauges. We have the light and you can hear the buzzer. Now what you do, you bleed the brakes on down and you do the emergency brake test. As you lose air pressure, the emergency brake side of the brake system will take over. And what happens is you lose air pressure, the spring, it's got a spring in there. And when the spring's stronger than the air pressure, it'll pop out and lock your brakes up. That's what happens when you lose air pressure. So we're going to bleed it down to activate the emergency brake side of the system. And what will happen between 40 and 20 pounds, the protection valves or your air buttons, either one you want to call it, but they're actually protection valves, what the book calls them. Your tractor brake and your trailer brake button, they'll pop out and your emergency brake will lock the system down. Alright, that's the trailer brake popped out. Keep on mashing the brake and the parking brake will pop out. There you go. So that's down there about 20 pounds on one and about 30 on the secondary. But the buzzer's on, your warning buzzer and your warning light's on, your emergency brake is taken over. So your unit is locked down now. So think about what you've done. Seat belt, your safe start, your safety equipment, your emergency equipment, fire extinguisher fuses, triangles, your rear view mirrors, your window, your windshield wipers, your windshield washer, your gauges, your heater defroster, turn signals, four-way flashers, high beam, your tug test, your leak down test. The only things left is your city horn and your air horn. That concludes the end cab, and now it's time to tell the examiner you're ready to check your lights. She'll ask what lights do you want to check, and you explain to her. You want to check all your lights, your high beams, your low beams, your turn signals, four-way flashers, your cab lights, your marker lights on the trailer. You want to check the tractor and trailer tail lights, brake lights, four-way flashers, and turn signals. And you got to tell her you want to check tractor and trailer tail lights and brake lights and such. If you tell her you want to check your tail lights, turn signals, four-way flashers, then she's going to give you credit for which particular part of the unit you want to check. If she goes to the back, she'll check whatever you say. If you want to just check turn signals, she'll give you credit for turn signals, but it won't be turn signals on the truck and the trailer. So be sure to tell you want to check the turn signals, brake lights, tail lights, and four-way flashers on the tractor and the trailer. So you get credit for both sets of lights. Other than that, that'll conclude the end cab. You'll have to get out. When you get out, you take your keys out, show them to the examiner. When you get outside, put them in your pocket. You got to make sure you take the keys out. Then you'll start with your outside of the cab. But other than that, that takes care of the end cab. And once again, go over the video, study it, and do it right. Make sure you get your leak down check. Make sure you get that leak down check down, get it perfect, do it right. If you make a mistake during the exam, stop. Look, I forgot to turn the truck on where my lights have come on. I forgot to release the brakes so we can bleed them down. Stop and tell her, and she will let you start over. She'll let you crank it up, bring it back to 120 to 140 pounds till your air governor goes off, and then you can start over once again and make sure you do it right so you don't fail. Other than that, if you leave off a turn signal or one of your gauges or your heater defroster, she'll only make a deduction. But if you don't do the leak down portion right, she'll fail you right there. Then you got to wait 7 days, get a new appointment, and go back and retest. So do it right the first time. It'll be a lot less headache. You'll be a much happier man or lady if you pass your test the first time. This is Vern Chavis from Northeastern Technical College. Thank you very much. Now we're exiting the truck on 3 points of contact. 2 feet in one hand, or 2 hands and 1 foot. But you want to be stable. You don't want to be slipping, falling out the truck. You don't want to lose your balance. And that's what it's all about. It's all about safety.